Boom, everybody. Welcome to the the Realtors Visibility Bootcamp Day 2. Welcome to the Realtors Visibility Bootcamp Day 2. And I'm super excited to be here today. Today, we are going to continue from where we stopped in day 1. We're going to be discussing, in fact, today is like the main meat. We're basically going to be discussing how smart realtors, how you can be found instead of chasing clients. We're going to basically be discussing how visibility works for you. So at the end of today's class, you understand clearly, in clear terms, how visibility works. Excuse me. You understand clearly how visibility works and how realtors make sales without chasing clients up and down. All right, that's basically what we're going to be learning today. In fact, if you did not pay attention yesterday, you would need to pay rapt attention today. I'm excited to be here. If you're excited, put the fire emoji in the comment section and type #live with your first name and where you are joining us from. I'd like to know that you watched. Just type #live in the comment section, your first name and where you are joining us from. If you're watching the replay, just type #replay in the comment section too, and then let me know where you watch this replay from as well as we dive right in. If you can hear me clearly, please type 1 in the comment section if you can hear me clearly. If you can see my screen properly, type 2 in the comment section. I'm excited. So if you're joining me from Abuja, type Abuja. If you're joining me from Lagos, type Lagos. If you're joining me from Port Harcourt, if you're joining me from, I can see Mr. Daniel from Cameroon, type, Cameroon inside there. Biu, I think it's Biu you're joining us from, right? Biu, I think you call it Biu in Cameroon, right? I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, Mr. Owen, Joel, Philomena, Linda, Priscilla, real estate top G100. Good to have you here. You all is so excited to see you in the comment section. We're going to be learning visibility. Someone type visibility in the comment section. Just type visibility. That's what we're going to be learning today. So yesterday, what did you feel like you learned anything yesterday? And by the way, if you missed yesterday's session, the link is in the comments, is in the description of this video. If you missed yesterday's section, the link is in the description of this video. After now, just go and click on that link and go and watch it. You missed a lot if you missed yesterday's section. We talked about why realtors are not visible, why realtors are invisible. Like, why is it that it is difficult for you to sell, effectively, right? Rather than try to pursue people up and down and try to convince them. So we looked at the reason why that happens yesterday. And today, we're now going to design our visibility strategy. Like, what can we do with visibility? How can we be visible enough so that we can actually make sales instead of chasing clients up and down? Who is ready to learn? If you're ready to learn, type "I am ready" in the comment section. Thank you so much for the feedback. Okolo Emanuela, good to have you here. Bonaya Prince, I see the visibility in the comment section. Lucky joining us from Enugu, my guy. It's good to have you here. Mr. C, properties from Lagos. Genesis. Oh, Genesis, good to have you here. Genesis from Port Harcourt, amazing guy. Mr. Emmanuel Izobo from Warri. It's good to have you here, sir. Lumina is in Asaba. You all are amazing. Now, we're going to dive right in because we have a lot to learn today, and I want to keep it under 1 hour so that I don't overwhelm you with a lot of information. Is that okay? Type "I am ready to learn." I am ready in the comment section if you are ready. All right, so we're going to dive right into this session. And from yesterday's feedback, I realized that there are a few things that I jumped. I kind of assumed a few things, and I thought that right now we'll just step back a bit and explain a few of these concepts First of all, we're going to try and explain and understand what visibility really means in the terms, in the context of what we are trying to, achieve. This is the 3 days visibility bootcamp, and the goal is that you learn how to stop chasing uninterested buyers and start attracting people that truly and actually want to buy real estate from you. And we have established the fact that a lot of people are out there looking to buy properties from you, right? The problem most times is that most realtors are invisible, all right? And that is what we're going to be discussing today. All right. So you want to now pay attention. If you know anybody that's supposed to be here is not here, you can send them the link to this video so that they can join right now as we take off from here. So yesterday I started by sharing with you a story. I shared my part of my story yesterday. I shared how that in late 2020s, for the sake of those that are just joining us today, I'll just recap because I want to draw a few lessons from it, even as we dive into today's session. So towards the end of 2020, I decided to start real estate marketing, right? So I began the business, and I told you guys that when I started, a few people I contacted, they in fact introduced me to some WhatsApp groups, a lot of WhatsApp groups at the time. And the instruction was, once you join the WhatsApp group, they'll post things every morning. When they post things every morning, you just go and collect it, put it on your status, broadcast it to people. Who knows what I'm talking about? A couple of you can relate, and all of that. So I did that. After like a week or two, I realized that this thing wasn't really working, because the people I was trying to, show these things to, there were many things about it that were not just working at all, right? The next thing I tried to do was to do paid advertising, just like I saw every other person doing on Facebook and Instagram, right? And of course, I put up some posts, I took a few pictures, made a few videos, took some posts from the group, you remember that group, and used some flyers to run adverts on Facebook and Instagram. And after a while, I get a couple of inbox of people asking me, who am I, where am I from, those kind of things. Now, I think that's the part where I stopped yesterday's story. And so I realized at the time that this strategy was not working for me, right? The WhatsApp strategy, the WhatsApp group strategy, and the paid advertising strategy was not working for me, right? And so I thought to myself, I figured out a few things. First, everybody within my sphere and circle at the time, both on Facebook, Instagram, my WhatsApp, contacts, were people that prior to the time were like at par, or maybe a few of them were ahead of me. I was not from a background where I had a lot of contact of rich people, right? And so it was not very easy to reach out to very wealthy people at the time that can buy my real estate. And so I realized that at that point that I needed to do something, right, that can help me attract. Now, pay attention to the words I'm using. Attract people who truly want to buy property, right, and can afford it. There is this big difference between you want to buy property and then you can afford it. All right. You're willing to, a good combination of someone that wants to buy who can afford it is usually that point where you make a sale. Okay. How many of you can relate with what I'm saying? You're marketing property, but everybody that is seeing it are just hailing you, just telling you, well done. Oh, good job. Once you post, they come to your inbox and say, sis, you inspire me. Or bro, I see you. That like, please don't see me. Like, this is not what I want. That's not the reason I want you to buy. And if you check, there's a stage of your business where you check your contact, check everybody that is reaching out to you. If you tell yourself the truth, none of them, like, apart from, I mean, you have faith too that tomorrow they will buy, but for today, right, they cannot buy. That was the point. Mr. Owen said, I get it a lot too, but na client I want. we don't want we don't want you do well. No, that's not what we want. Hold your we do well. You know, sometimes when you send me that kind of thing, vex if you catch me, I go block you. You would think there's a transfer of aggression. But really, really, this is not why I'm here now. Like, I don't come to count you do well, So that was my reality at the time. I knew there was something to do, but I didn't know what to do. Now, around that period, I remembered a concept that I learned. And one of the things that helped me as well in life is studying both books, video trainings, and actually also physical trainings. If you know me, you know that I spend heavily on trainings, right? I spend heavily to acquire knowledge. So around that time, a few months or like a year before then, I was studying one of Russell Brunson's book, right? And at that point, I just remembered a concept in his book, that I read. I can't remember the exact line, but I'll just paraphrase. It says something like, if you're starting out in a new industry, any new industry, right, and you make and post at least one video daily for at least a year, that you will become visible and undeniable in that industry. He didn't necessarily say you're going to make money per se. He just said that you become invisible and undeniable in that industry, right? And so this was around towards the end of December of that 2020 when this reality, and at that point your back is against, my back was literally against the wall, and because personally I have decided that real estate was going to pay my bills, at that point. And I decided that, what's the worst that can happen? Let me experiment this. So I made a plan. um so I decided. Now listen to the words I'm using. I said attract initially, and I said attract buyers, because truth be told, even if I didn't want to attract them, I didn't have any way to meet them. Like, how you don't even know who is supposed to buy from you. So how do you know where to meet the person, right? At that point, I was tired of trial and error. What many realtors do that they claim is marketing is hawking. So what they do is they just throw things out and hope that somebody is interested in it. So at that point, I was not necessarily looking for trial and errors. I was actually trying to see what can actually work. All right. And so I I decided that I was going to experiment it and put it to work. And so by the 1st of January 2021, that's why usually I tell people that my real estate journey actually started 1st of January 2021, right? So 1st of January 2021, I embarked on a journey. My goal was, now pay attention to what I'm saying. I am very excited to share these things because I feel like one of the missing links usually in our world is people that can actually show other people the stairs. Like, this is the road I passed. Match here, match here, match here. People barely share. They'll just tell you that, oh, now God, oh. How many of you have heard I'm God? How many of you have heard, if you ask somebody, how do you do what you do? You say, just keep pushing. This is why I want you to pay rapt attention, right? And so, like I was saying, I decided on that first that, what, I'm now going to experiment. I'm going to push this, and I'm going to go. So by first, I decided that I was going to do a challenge. I was going to go on a challenge. My challenge, the thing I wanted to do was to make at least 100 videos in 90 days. Remember, that concept said that if you make at least one video for a period of a year, right, you will become very visible in any industry. Like when you're starting out in any industry at all, right, you become very visible and undeniable. So my goal was visibility. That was my major goal. And so by the 1st of January of that year, I decided that, you know what, I'm going to start that January, and before 31st of March, I'm going to do at least, put out at least 100 videos. Then my plan was that after 31st of March, I may now go again, right? However, I wanted to just do those 90 days first, because this is something I'd never done before. I'd never been consistent with, such kind of thing before. So I needed to just start somewhere. Now, I kicked off on that journey. And by, I think, around 28th of January, in fact, from 15th, 16th of January, I began to see feedback. I began to get some feedback. And by the 28th of January, I made my first sale. A prospect from Italy, reached out to me. I saw that. I can never forget that number. I think it started from plus 359, something like that. I'd be 395. I can't really remember, but a combination of these numbers, either 359 or so. And then the number came in. I was editing a video, and then the call came in. Hello, is this Jeff? I said yes. And he goes, my name is this. I saw your video. You saw my video? Like, I could not believe it. Like, I stood up. I was sitting down editing a video. I literally stood up and I paced around the room while I was answering. As a matter of fact, so I stammer, like I stutter, right? As a matter of fact, that day, I think I stammered more. Like, it was surreal. You know how it wasn't really believable? Like, it was a lot. How many of you have experienced your first foreign client? In fact, your first stranger, client. It is another feeling altogether, And of course, from that point, um, I kept going, I kept making videos, and on and on. My target was 1 million naira in commissions by that 31st of March. Of course, I didn't hit 1 million in commissions 31st of March. I hit 1.2 million by May, I think around 15th or 16th of May of that year. And of course, it kept going on. And Chidima say, I swear. um, Mr. Owen says heavenly feeling. I'm telling you, the feeling is so real, and it kept going on and on and on like that. That was the beginning of everything. And by the end of that year, 2021, of course, I became the top selling realtor for multiple real estate companies. One, a plot of land. One, I had some cash money. In fact, I bought my first inspection vehicle by September of that year. I rented my first office, employed my first staff that same year, right? Now, the reason I am sharing this with you is for two things. First, of course, it may not happen for you exactly the way it happened for me, right? But there is a principle here, right? And I'm going to be sharing that with you. The 1 + 1 is 2, right? I know what came to your head now, Soko, right? Anyways, 1 + 1 is 2 in Nigeria, is 2 in Japan, it is 2 in America. What that means is that a principle is a principle anywhere and anytime, right? Now, by the next year, 2022, I began to teach a couple of people as well, right? Within my team. See all of you in the comments, worldly people, Jacinta Okwa and Mr. Samuel M. Soko, right? Anyways, so I began to teach a couple of people, in this particular principle. And the first person, it worked for him. In Enugu, then I was based in Enugu. So Enugu, a few people I taught in Enugu, it worked for them. I taught Mr. Justin in Owerri, it worked for him. I taught Mr. Chris in Port Harcourt, it worked for him. on and on and on like that, right? In the year 20, in the year 20, this was 2024, towards the end of 2024, we decided to extend our business to Abuja, right? And I realized quickly in Abuja that the prospect, the clients I had, right, the clients that I had that were interested in buying Enugu were not interested in buying Abuja. So we're faced with a dilemma. I was faced with a dilemma, and I needed to start building new clientele all over again. So early 2025, of course, I started all over building new clientele because I realized that the guys that were interested in buying Enugu and the East did not want to buy Abuja at all, right? Now, I decided to test this principle again, and I'm going there. Like, I'm going to literally break down this principle for you, step by step, right? You know, of course, I thought Jacinta too. She's she's there in the comments. Yes, I thought her to. She became a top selling realtor back to back. So I decided to experiment this again in Abuja. And by last year, that's last year, around mid last year, early last year, we started again building new set of clientele. And between then and the end of the year, we had done over 1 billion in sales, selling like, it's crazy. I'll just show you a few screenshots right now. These are the kind of screenshots I began to get, in implementing this same thing that I'm telling you about right here in Abuja. So see the kind of inbox I began to get after a while. So this guy is from Finland, and he goes, "Hello, Jeff. Good morning. Just watched a video on YouTube about the right investing in real estate in Abuja. You see that in Abuja that we just came to. This guy is in US, and he said, "Hello, I just watched a video." You can see most of them, they were the first to contact me, and there's a reason I'm sharing these things with you, because I want to share with you a principle, but also want to show you that this is a principle that I've applied, and it worked for me, it worked for a lot of other people, and it will work for you as well if you implement. And it says, "Hello, this guy is in US. Hello, I just watched your videos on YouTube. I'm interested in real estate." Straight up. Another guy says, "Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Saw your video on YouTube. Let's talk when you have a chance." This guy is in UK, and he says, "Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Jeff. Would it be okay if I call you?" UK. Now let me show you a recent one. Okay, that one is not even here. It's not here. I would have shown you a recent one, but here's another one. This guy is in Canada. He says, "Hi, I got your number from YouTube on so and so. I'm interested." Straight up. Can you see what I'm talking about? These are not people that are, doing some trial and error. They are interested straight up. It's no more a point of, "Oh, sir, you know how realtors used to go and beg people book appointment. They'll sit you down for some hours. They'll be looking at you from their camera. When they waste your time small, they'll use another door and leave the office and leave you there." No, these are not the kind of, that's not the concept I was looking for. Remember, I told you in the beginning that one of the things that I was looking for, right, was a strategy to attract people that can afford as well as want to buy the properties I sell. Okay. And of course, like I said, it didn't work for, it's not just me it worked for. Here's one of my students as well. This is, I don't know if I should call her name. I didn't take permission from her, so I will just say this. And she goes, "Sir, another sale just came in from your students. This is a student of mine recently. See the date, 17th of March 2026. Another sale." I mean, when somebody says another, what does that mean? It means others have been coming. And then and a student of mine as well that is in Cameroon, of course, with his permission, I am sharing this screenshot with you as well. Atege Daniel, he's here, he's in the comment section, he's in Cameroon. And then he says, so we met last year. I met with him last year. And of course, he bought my book, my first book. and he has attended a couple of my trainings. And by early this year, the guy began to make sales back to back. He said, since I started, I have been making an average of 2 sales monthly. In fact, since last year he met me, I've been making an average of 2 sales monthly. That is 500K SEFA monthly. I already made 2 sales for this month as well. And this is March. So I'm sure Daniel has made more sales back to back, right? Now, why am I sharing all of this with you? If a concept works in Enugu, work in Abuja, work in Port Harcourt, in Owerri, work in several in Cameroon, and these are the ones that have given me feedback. I am sure that there are some other students of mine as well that probably are not here and haven't really given me feedback. And I usually do not share if I've not taken permission. I am a sort of a private person, so I personally don't also share some things like screenshots, credit alerts, etc. I basically don't really like to share those kind of things. However, I'm trying to establish a concept here that the the strategy I'm going to be sharing with you now are things that I have experimented myself. I have other people that have thought I've experimented it within and outside Nigeria, and it works beautifully. Now, initially, I didn't fully understand the concept. Like I said, it was a concept I stumbled on when I was reading one of Russell Brunson's books, and I decided to experiment it in real estate. Now, it was later I began to document these things. I began to document my processes. And that is why I can share with you and teach you the principles of visibility. All right. And I mean, before I go on with this class, I've also documented it in a book. My new book that's launching in April, early April, called You're Easy to Ignore. You're Easy to Ignore is a simple book that is talking about how realtors win sales by standing out and not shouting. It's just a very simple book by that just shows you these things. I've packaged it in a book, and if you go to www.jeffanozie.com/offer, you can lock in your pre-sales before it launches. All right. Now, now that this concept has been established and I've shared with you how I've been able to understand these things, how it has worked for me and everything, let us go into a bit of the definitions, all right, before we go more into this class. Are we following so far? Am I boring you? Are you excited to learn? If you're excited to learn, put the fire emoji in the comment section. I mean, burn down the the comment section with fire emoji as we dive right in. Let us first understand the concept of visibility. What is visibility, right? Let us differentiate between visibility and popularity. They are two different things, all right? Visibility and popularity. Let us differentiate the concept. Now, let's do a bit of learning here. Let's learn. Let's do the etymology of words. I was taught, one of my teachers taught me. He taught me that to understand the concept, understand the root word of that concept, right? Understand the origin of the word. If you understand the origin of any word, it will be easy to understand it and apply it properly. Now, the word visibility comes from two words. Like, it comes from two words, vid or vis. Vid, like VID, or vis, right? And it is the root word of visibility. And what it means in English is sight, knowledge, and awareness. All right? Vis or vid, right? That is the root word of visibility. So VID, that's the root word of visibility. We're trying to understand the meaning of visibility and the difference between visibility and popularity. If you understand this, you're well on your way to attracting quality buyers. Just understand this concept. Now, you can see this word used in this root word used in concepts like video, video. You know what video means now? It means something you see, right? It's seen in the word vision, vision, right? Which means the art of seeing, vision. Is also seen in the word evidence, VID, right? Which literally means that which is seen clearly, evidence. One of the interesting things I even noticed while I was, understanding this concept is vid is the VID in the word provide. Provide. If I asked you the meaning of provide, what will you say? Let me see in the comments. What is the meaning of provide? Right? So it comes from two words. Pro, right? Which means ahead. And vidr, that's VIDER, right? If you put those two together, you see, so Jesse said provide means make available, right? Good. That's a good attempt. But you see, that's why if you understand the root, the origin of words, like you can make sense of almost every other thing. Provide means there means ahead. That is why you say proactive. You're active ahead, like that's the meaning of pro, right? V there is VIDER, means to see. So what provide literally mean is to see ahead. I'm telling you, like, why revise, VIS. Remember I said it's two root words, VID and VIS. VIS there, that's revise, means to see again. All right, you've seen it before, you're seeing it again. Provide means to see ahead. Now, if you put this concept together, all right, to see ahead, exactly, right? If you put this concept together, you realize that visibility is not the same thing as being seen. No, remember, I said that the that VIDVIS relates to what? To sight, knowledge, and awareness. All right. So visibility is not just about being seen. I mean, you can be seen, but you may not hold any value. And we see that today with many of your celebrities, your so-called celebrities. They're loud, they're everywhere, they are seen. But if I ask you what their value is, you can really not say. All right? So you can be seen also and not really make sense to the person that is seeing you. All right? So you can be seen, but you may not make sense to the person that is seeing you. So what the actual meaning of the word visibility mean is being noticeable and undeniable. That's what it means. It is not necessarily just to be seen. And that's the difference between visibility and popularity. Are we following? So visibility in actual sense literally means to be noticeable and undeniable. So it's beyond just to be seen. All right? And so if people cannot feel your impact clearly, you are not visible. You only exist. All right? So that is the difference. And so this is important because many realtors, right, or business owners believe that when you have a large following, right, then you're going to make a lot of sales. And that is why sincerely, and this is not to bash anybody, but sincerely, I don't understand when some businesses go select some so-called celebrities that do not make sense just because they have a large following and they think that because of this large following, they are going to make sales. Unknown to many business owners that go and employ this, they call them brand ambassadors, that are just seen, but are not, they don't make sense, or the people that actually need the product do not, they are not valuable to them. All right? And so many realtors think that you need to have a large following. As a matter of fact, by the end of that 2021 that I'm telling you about, I'm not sure I had up to, say, 300 subscribers, right? I'm not sure I had up to that. If I make a post, usually, I'm not sure I could get up to maybe 20 likes, 30 at the most, right? But it's in those 20, 30 likes that the real impact is made. And so that I am not popular does not mean I am not visible, right? Because followers really doesn't really bring the clients. What matters is discoverability. That is to say, the people that actually need you and want your product can discover you. Are you following? Are you following? So what discoverability means is that buyers can find your information when they are searching for answers. That's what it means. All right? And so, two people make a video. Two people make videos, all right? Two different realtors can make videos. They can even, for the sake of this example, they can even be talking about the same things, all right? But Realtor 1 has 20 views from people that are searching for his property. Realtor 2 has 1,000 random views because he went to share his video link to his primary school group and to his yard people and to his compound people and to all those, those follow for follow kind of groups that people used to go and enter. Then you go to enter those follow for follow kind of groups. All those groups that used to say, follow me, I follow you. You go and share it there, and then you have 1,000 views. Realtor A is closing sales back to back with his 20 views, while Realtor B is just doing the shoulder like this for 1,000 likes and 3,000 views. Meanwhile, his bank account is empty. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? All right. There are videos you will make, 20 views, almost 500 million has come out. 20 views. Why? Because that video was discovered by the information in the video is discovered by people that are searching for answers that are in that video. So the point of what I'm saying by way of a summary is that visibility and popularity are not the same thing. All right? All right? Priscilla said, I can relate, sir. Sometimes it's not even up to 20 views and a sale will drop. Of course, that's true. Okay? Now that we've gotten this out of the way, please, is this clear? Please type visibility in the comment section if you've understood the concept of visibility so far. And it's okay to go back and watch the replay, right? In case you do not understand it, so that we can move on. All right? I'll take your questions at the end. Please just leave your questions in the comment section. Once I'm done with what I'm saying, then we can go back and take your questions. Is that okay? Because I may even answer your questions while I'm going on. Now, there are two ways to make a sale, to sell real estate. Two ways. whether online or offline. It all boils down to these two ways. And this session, you want to pay attention to it because it's important you understand what you're doing. And many people just do random stuff and they wonder why they get random results. If you understand what you're doing, you understand, what to stop doing and what to start doing or what to amplify on. So generally, there are two ways. Okay, so generally, there are only two ways to sell real estate, whether online or offline. So it's either you're chasing the buyers or you build a system where the buyers can come to you. All right. So it's either you are chasing the buyers or you build a system that buyers can come to you. Whether you are marketing online or offline, it does not matter. And I'm going to show you in a minute. So everything you're doing currently falls within these two things. When you chase buyers, it's called outbound marketing. Someone type outbound marketing. Outbound marketing, right? That's when you chase buyers, right? When people discover you, they trust you, and then they reach out to you. Again, they discover you, trust you, and then reach out to you. What you're doing is called inbound marketing, otherwise called attraction marketing. All right? So those are the two ways you sell. You sell real estate. In fact, these are the only two ways you can sell anything. Anything in this life. Two ways. All right? What again are they? Outbound marketing means you're chasing the buyers. Inbound marketing is what? You attract the buyers. So they find you, they trust you, and then they reach out to you. Now, we're going to dissect these two, and then you will decide at the end which of these you want to do. Again, there's no right or wrong one. It is just you understanding what you're doing so that you can do better of it. You can do it better. All right? So now, let us define outbound marketing. So outbound marketing is basically you go out to find buyers and then initiate the conversation with them. All right? So how does this work online? Let's see how it works online. So online, you send cold DMs. You know how some people will teach you that you look at people's profile picture, you gauge them. They look like the smell of money. You go to their inbox and go and engage them. So you go and start a conversation with them. All right? That is one way you do outbound marketing online. That's one way you chase after buyers online. Another way is bulk WhatsApp broadcasts. You know how you do WhatsApp broadcast messaging, right? To random people that did not request for you to send them message. That is called what? Outbound marketing. When you do, you enter people. You know how they used to tell you that go to groups where, what they call them, professionals are, and then tell people to DM you. That is outbound marketing. You're going to go and chase people. All right. Now, offline, how does this work? Of course, many people do this offline. So you go calling leads manually. So you take a list of numbers. You know how they tell you to look at your phone book, look at all the numbers there, and call everybody. You know how what's his name? Grant Cardone says bond the phone. He calls it bond the phone. What he says is that call everybody until your phone bonds. That is outbound marketing, right? Offline. So meeting random prospects. You know how you go to the mall with your flyers to meet prospects. That is called what? Outbound marketing. You're chasing after the buyers, right? Or you pitch to your friends and family that are not interested in real estate. They're not even interested in what you're doing. They may or may not be interested, right? That is outbound marketing. You walk into people's offices to market, or you go to the market square to go around, or the traffic light, like how they do in Abuja here. They call it prospecting or market storm, right? That is called outbound marketing. Again, there is no right and wrong. It's just you understanding what you're doing and decide on what you want to do. Make sense? So examples are, you go into somebody's inbox, hello, sir, I have plots in Abuja for sale. Are you interested? This is a random person that did not show interest in what you're selling. Now, that is chasing. That is chasing. It's chasing people, chasing buyers. So there's no context. There's no trust yet, right? There's no positioning. You just, reach out to people. Doris says, busted. No, we're not busting anybody here. We're just defining things as they are. All right? Now, the second way, let's define inbound marketing, right? What is inbound marketing? Is when you create visibility and authority so that the right people find you, trust you, and come to you ready to buy. Like those inbox messages I showed you, those WhatsApp messages. You see that prior to their first messages, me and them did not have any contacts. I didn't have their numbers before then. All right. That is what inbound marketing looks like. I'm just going to show you once more. All right. I'm going to show you once more for this sake of showing you. You see this guy? You see them, that guy is in UK, Samson, and he goes, good afternoon, Jeff. Would it be okay if I call you? So he found me, saved my number, and then reached out to me. So he saved my number, built trust over time, and then decided to reach out to me. And this other guy too in Canada, like that. All right. This is what is called inbound marketing. All right. Now, how does it work online? See how it works online. So you create educational content, whether YouTube, Instagram, right, that builds authority and instigates trust, and you put it out there, right? Another way is you create content around storytelling, right? So things like regrets that other buyers make, things like how you got your first, how you sold your first property, and the hurdles that came with it, content like that, or search-based content, things like Abuja real estate insights or Lagos real estate insights. Like you talk about insights around real estate like an authority. All right, this is how it works online. Offline, it's not, you can't so much apply it on offline like that, but a few ways is referrals. So maybe past clients that, and I got that kind of thing last year. A client of mine that bought a property from me in Abuja here, he referred his friend. That his friend came with another friend. And so two of them bought 500 square meter of an estate I'm selling. All right. That is inbound. So because of my service to the first guy, he sent my number to his friend. And then his friend brought his friend. That is inbound marketing offline. That his friend did not meet me online. It's somebody offline that gave him the number, right? Another way is to speak at events. So you go to professional events. It must not be real estate events. It can be, let's say, for instance, ICANN, for instance, right? These are professionals. And there's a chance that some of them are wealthy enough to buy real estate, all right? And then you stay there and teach them 5 concepts or 5 things to look out for before investing in any real estate, in Uyo. All right? Now, that way you are building authority, establishing expertise. And so there is a chance that at the end of that event, a number of them will reach out to you to buy from you. All right? So That is inbound marketing. Have we understood it? So you can see that whether you're chasing clients online or offline, that is called outbound marketing, or you're attracting clients online or offline, which is called what? Inbound marketing or attraction marketing. Is simply just important that you know the difference between the two. And so for outbound marketing, when you're chasing clients, you find buyers. So you go out looking for buyers. For inbound marketing, that's attraction marketing, buyers find you, right? For outbound marketing, which is chasing, right, you try to convince the buyers. For inbound marketing, they already believe in you. They will just call you to clarify one or two things and buy. Okay? For the outbound, the trust is low. That's why a lot of them will ask you, if you call them, they'll ask you, who are you? Don't call me again. You know, that kind of thing. Um, 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 and so on and so on. Okay? Now, let's talk a bit about the advantages and disadvantages of both of them. Can we? Are we learning so far? Am I boring you? Let me know if you're learning. Put the fire emoji in the comment section if you are learning so far. Am I boring you? Am I talking over your heads? Right? So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Right? Again, we're just going to look at two of them and decide what we want to do. My goal is to pull the box open and reveal to you these potentials and strategy that you can implement in your business. Okay? Is that good? And again, if you're just joining us, a bulk of these things was already captured in my book, You're Easy to Ignore. And if you go to www.jeffanozie.com/offer, you can book your pre-order your book right now, and you'll get it by the second week of April. All right. Now, let us do the advantages and disadvantages. For outbound marketing, there is one advantage. If you have the right contact or you meet a Kairos, your Chronos moment and Kairos moment align. Who understand what I said? Your Chronos moment and your Kairos moment align, right? So for some reason, by some sheer divine orchestration, you meet the right audience or the right person. The sale is faster, it's short term because the guy is ready, right? And so you meet the person. I'm talking about outbound now, the advantage, right? It is fast. The sale can be fast. The disadvantages, however, are quite a number. Number one is that it doesn't scale. It doesn't scale. What that means is that you cannot find buyers outside your immediate environment. Right? I have a client in Russia. Russia. How in the world will I have met the guy? So that is one of the disadvantages of outbound. It's not scalable. Like it just has to be people within your environment. Number two, you burn out fast. Why? Because you're doing random stuff. You don't even know who is, like, you're just meeting somebody hoping. You know how they train you that when you walk into any place, an event or anywhere, the first thing your brain is going is that, okay, this guy's watch is fine, his shoe is fine, he must be a prospect. You know? So the more you do that thing and get disappointed, or you meet people that truly they look like they have money, but shishi, like you that is prospecting them, even has more money than them. How many of you know what I'm talking about? And so you burn out fast. The more you try that thing, because there's no strategy in place. There's no strategy. It's just being random. You burn out fast and give up quick. That's one of the disadvantages of outbound marketing. The leads are usually low quality leads, because tell me why you go to evening markets where they sell tomatoes and crayfish, and more than half of the people there, their entire net worth, from mere looking at them or trying to you know, size it up may not be up to what you want to sell to them, right? Or you know how sometimes people do all these roadworks and they just simply throw the flyers at people, hoping that one of them will click. And usually, sincerely, usually they are mostly low quality leads, whether you like it or not is true. All right. And then you get constant rejection. And Mr. Goswell is asking if it's hard copy or soft. It's hard copy for now. There will be soft copy, but much later. But for now, it will be hard copy. Okay. So these are some of the disadvantages of outbound marketing. Now, let's look at the advantages of inbound and also the disadvantages. Advantages of inbound marketing is that first you build authority. So what that means is that, see, one of the sweetest part of inbound marketing for me is that once you build authority, you have built it, right? What that means is that if somebody goes to search your name, Jeff Anoze, on Google or on anywhere, or he hears about you anywhere in the world, when I say in the world, anywhere in the world, right, and searches about you, right? Once he search, your name, it comes up. What he sees already has placed you as an authority. That is, you have quickly earned his trust. By the time he watches or views or reads up to 10 of your videos or read like 5 of your posts or your content, right? He's sold already, even before he speaks with you. Guess what? The beautiful thing about this is that you may even be sleeping. At that point, he's watching it. And then you wake up to see his message, or you wake up to see his number. Please call me. He's now begging you, Jeff, please call me. Builds authority. That's one of the biggest advantages of inbound marketing. Number 2, you attract high quality buyers. So 8 out of 10 people that reach out to you from a video or a content you have created about real estate, 8 out of 10 that reaches out to you are serious buyers. I did not say they will all buy, but they are serious buyers. They may not buy today, but they will eventually buy. All right. The conversion rate again is higher. And see, your effort compounds over a period of time. It compounds. So that is to say, the work you do today can speak for you in 2, 3, 4 years' time. Unlike outbound marketing, when you do, especially those that do physical outbound marketing, that effort you did that day is dead. It cannot count for you tomorrow. So tomorrow you have to start all over again, looking for new people every day. Meanwhile, for the guy that is doing the inbound marketing, right? The guy doing the inbound marketing, for every content he puts out, especially online, for every content he puts out in the atmosphere, in the YouTube sphere or the Facebook sphere or Instagram sphere, right? It is there. So it counts for him over a period of time. The disadvantage, one of the biggest disadvantage of inbound marketing is that it requires patience. Patience. It may not happen to you overnight. All right? But the beauty is that, see, the time will come and pass anyway. Do you get? So it requires patience. Number 2, another disadvantage, it requires clarity of message. What that means is that you cannot be jumping from one message to another. You have to choose a path and stay there. All right? That is one of the disadvantages. And so because of these 2 things, the patience part and the clarity, people quit early. They quit early. Right? So now, how do you know the one you are doing? Right? How do you then know the one you are doing right now? 1, you are chasing clients. If, first of all, you are chasing clients, 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 if, first of all, you are ch you're always the one that starts the conversation. You're always the one when you meet somebody in an event, you start saying, "Oh, I sell real estate too, in case you want to buy." Oh, yeah. Oh. So you're not even starting conversations with the sake of networking or building a relationship. The first thing you want to sell is property. Then you are a chaser, right? When you say things like, "Please check it out," you go into somebody's inbox and you say, "Sir, I have something amazing for you. I've been watching you since." You're not watching him anything. You just saw his profile picture. You think he has money. Then you go inbox and you now say, "I've been watching you since. Please, can I send you something that you can look at? I'm sure it will bless you and your children's children." Eh? You're a chaser. Okay? You post, and immediately after you make a post or you shoot a video and put it out there, the next thing is that you go and copy the link and start sharing it to people, sharing it to WhatsApp groups, sharing it to all your village community and all your, you're a chaser. Right? You're chasing people, right? When you rely heavily on follow-ups. When I say follow-up, physical follow-ups usually, you know how people will tell you, clients will give you appointment, come to our office by 10 a.m. 10 a.m. you're there. Clients will keep you there until 2 or 3 p.m. Right? You're a chaser. What you're doing is what? Outbound marketing. Now, you're attracting clients if, first of all, people message you first. You're not the one that go messaging people first. People message you first. Then what you're doing is called inbound marketing. No, what Omo, I no go lie, outbound is stressful. It is. Right? Inbound marketing, right? People already understand you before they reach out to you. What you're doing is inbound marketing. All right. So one of the one of the one of the most surreal things about inbound marketing is when a prospect reaches out to you, and the first thing he wants to tell you is that, "Jeff, this is your first conversation." And one of the first things he's saying, "Jeff, I'm interested in what you're selling. I'm looking for plot this, and this. These are the plot sizes I need. Tell me about your payment plan." More like, you see how I said it? Or more like, it's usually really pretty sweet. Okay. Then you're doing inbound marketing. So you that is watching me right now, tell me the one you're doing in the comment section, right? I am doing this. I want to start doing this. You can say, "I am doing inbound marketing. I want to start doing outbound marketing." Let me know in the comment section. Erasmus is asking a question. For ads, which part does it fall to? Ads is not a strategy. I've said this before severally. You guys if you've been in my class anytime, I tell you that ads in itself is not a strategy. What ads does, paid advertising, what it helps you do, it helps you amplify an existing strategy. All right? That's what it does. So when you run ads randomly, what you're doing is outbound marketing. You're sending those videos to random people, hoping that one of them will reach out to you. But then again, if you are already on the path of inbound marketing, that is, you're creating content for the sake of attracting, building authority, then you're running ads to your authority content. That is, the paid advertising you're doing is not to make a sale. You're not doing the paid advertising on a property. What you're doing it in is on, let's say, videos like 5 different ways, 5 things to look out for before buying a property in Abuja. That's the kind of content you just created. And behind the content, if you attended my class yesterday, I talked about lead generation content, nurturing, and what? Conversion, right? So behind that content, there is a conversion content, there's a nurturing content. Then you are now doing inbound marketing, but you're using advertising, paid advertising, to amplify or to scale your messaging. So that's a different thing. Paid advertising in itself is not a strategy. What it does is that it amplifies a strategy. I don't know if I'm explaining this thing properly. Let me know in the comment section if I'm explaining this thing properly, right? I really wish I can open my head and just share with you guys, right? But then again, that's why I wrote a book. That's why I wrote a book. How the book is How Realtors Win Sales by Standing Out and Not by Shouting. So the book is called You're Easy to Ignore. If you go to my website, jeffanozie.com/offer, you can order your book like immediately. All right. So let me see which one you're doing. I know they chase again. Okonkwo Chidima said, I know they chase again. Make I go buy patience from Patience Doko. Right? I'll go mount inbound marketing. Beautiful. Mr. Owen said, I'm doing inbound marketing and I love it more than outbound marketing. Amazing. Priscilla says, I'm doing inbound marketing and I want to keep doing inbound marketing. Beautiful. I've tested outbound marketing in my former life and I can tell the difference is clear. Amazing. Real Estate by Javal. It's good to have you here. He said, I'm a newbie, but I'm inbound marketing all the way from April 1st, 2026. Beautiful, amazing. I just the chase window. Blessing Haruna says, I just the chase win for outbound marketing. I moved to inbound. Right? Beautiful. Okonkwo Chinuma said, another ad strategy. Thank you. Thank God for this class. Good. I'm glad you're learning. I'm doing the both. Good. You can do the both. And see, the point is just understand what you're doing and do it well. All right? That is the goal. Inbound marketing all the way. Jacinta says, beautiful. Now, let me explain. Let's go a bit further, even as I wrap up this class today. Now, why do realtors stay stuck in chasing? My goal today is to teach you how to get found instead of chasing clients up and down. So the truth is that the first problem with most realtors is that they try to talk to everybody at the same time, right? The challenge or the thing you must learn when it comes to inbound marketing is how to choose an audience. You have to speak to a specific set of people. It's not everybody you're going to be speaking to at the same time. That is the problem. So most realtors feel like if they narrow down their clientele or the type of people they want to speak to, that they are going to, they may not make sale. I don't know why people think like that. That is why you see realtors, they say commercial plots, you're there. They say residential plots, you're there. They say individual land, you're there. They say estate land, you're there. They say farmland in the village, you're there. Do you get, like, you want to be everywhere? They say high-end rental in Guzape, you're there. They say Kaora, everywhere you want to be, right? Why? Because you feel like if you throw yourself plenty places, there's a chance one of them will bring money. And that's why you're stuck. That's why you're stuck chasing clients and chasing sales up and down, right? So in order to switch from chasing to attraction, right? Exactly. Philomena said, choose, know your audience and speak their language. Exactly. Right? In order to switch, right, the first thing is that you must choose a specific audience and speak their language. Because again, remember that in attraction marketing, they will find you and your messaging, your content has information they are looking for, right? So that when they are searching for the answers to that information, they find you. And then you share that information with them, right? When you share that information with them, then they can call you. They can trust you enough to now call you. Inkem said, MTN everywhere you go. God, I beg go. Right? choose a specific audience. That's one, right? If you want people who want to buy land, so some people say everybody that wants to buy land is their audience. That's not true. That's random. That's big. So you can decide to say, okay, you're looking for wealth builders, what you people call investors, right? Wealth builders, people that are looking to increase their wealth through real estate. You can look for upwardly mobile professionals who do not have time to go out and search for houses, but they know that they want to own their own houses, right? So they are busy, but they have money to own a house. And so they also want to be paying gradually because they work. So they want a deal, they want deals where they can pay for say 12 to 24 months from their salary. So you can decide to target that kind of audience alone. All right? Or you can decide to target, around different people. So that's the first step. Choose your audience. The second step is that you want to change what you talk about. We're talking about how to switch from pursuing clients to, attracting them. The first is what? Change your audience. The second is what? Um, second is what? Change what you talk about. For a lot of you, the only thing you talk about is land for sale. Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever in the world you're watching me from. I have this beautiful land for sale. That's the only thing you say. Anytime you put a camera in front of you, the only thing you say is, I have this beautiful land for sale. You can see, I like it. Can you see? That's the only thing you say. So you have to change that to things like you start creating stories about investment strategies. What are the investment strategies in your area, right? For me, one of the investment strategies in my area in Abuja, especially for the kind of clients I sell to, is that you are laughing at me, right? Is that I listen to the pulse of the government. Where are they taking infrastructure to? And then we go acquire a property there and then pitch it to our wealth builder client, something like that. So I can decide to just stay there, and then my content will now be how to identify locations that have high potentials of return, something like that. So instead of me to say, good morning, good afternoon, from anywhere you're watching from, here is, as you can see, this is, instead of doing that, I can rather just say, here are three things to look out for when you visit a property, that can ensure high returns. Or these are three things to know that a developer is a scammer. Or you can say things like, location breakdown. You can say, here are three locations to look out for in 2026. You see? Or you can say something like maybe timing insights. What is the time of the year where you can, achieve the best returns in Guzape or in Emekuku? Something like that. So you see that in doing this, you are speaking the language of some people that are searching, right? You position yourself as an authority and you begin to attract instead of pursuing clients. All right? Are we following? Doris say, I like it like you're the one buying. I don't know why some people, when they are pitching a property, they say, I like this place so much. Go and buy it now since you like it. Right. So we're looking at how to switch from chasing to attracting. Are you following? Are you enjoying this? Please put the fire emoji in the comment section if you're enjoying this so far. Right. As I wrap up, I'm sorry I'm taking your time, but let us just, I want us to, get a meat of this before we wrap it up today. Number three, become known for something. All right. And when you choose an audience, when you decide to speak in a certain way, You're not just talking about how to buy their property. Over time, right, you begin to carve a niche for yourself. You begin to stand out, right? And that is the thing. Instead of shouting like every other person, instead of posting what every other person is posting, you're beginning to speak a different language. And over time, you begin to stand out, right? Number four, you can use content for your funnel. All right, use content. So you can create different type of content. You can create you can create content that educates. You can create content that filters. You can create content that attracts. All right, content that educates. I think I'll talk about that a little bit more before we wrap up. Step number 5, you can let demand build before you begin to sell. Build demand before you sell. What that means is that when you're starting out, or let's say you're switching now, you want to switch from pursuing clients to begin to attract them. You sit down and design a plan. Let's say you decide that, okay, for the next 30 days, I'm going to create content, right? Or like my story. Remember my story in the beginning? For the next 90 days, you're going to create 100 pieces of content and put out there, for instance, right? And then you decide to now do that. When you're designing your content, prioritize building demand instead of just trying to sell. What does that mean? It means that, say, inside your 30 content, about 20 should be around educating. It should be around the things I talked about initially. Location breakdowns. Here are 3 things about Apo Wasa that you need to know in 2026. You now start describing the location. All right. So location breakdown, educational content or how-to content, how to identify a property that suits your need in Abuja, for instance. All right. You see those kind of content, prioritize them. So if you're doing 30 pieces of content, inside the 30, 20 should be, geared towards building demand, not just selling. So in building demand, your goal is to attract, your goal is to nurture, your goal is to then convert. Of course, you will still have other content that are a property kind of content, right? That's okay. You can still have property content, or what I like to call edu promotional content. So edu promotional content are content that you do on a property. Let's say you're selling an estate. The name of the estate is ABC Estate, right? For instance. Then you're selling ABC content. Instead of doing what every other realtor does all the time, I'm not saying it's wrong, but maybe not all the time. You go to the estate and the only thing you're saying is, welcome to ABC Estate. Like you can see, it has a perimeter fence, it has a gatehouse, the land is clear, is neat, it's 100% dry. So instead of that, you can also do edu promotional content, promotional content. So those kind of contents are, here are 5 things about ABC Estates no one will tell you. Or here are 5 things about ABC content that you need to know today. Right? Number 1, it comes with an FCDA C of O, which is the highest title and the most secure title you can get in an estate. Number 2, it sits right off the 10-lane Asokoro Apo Road. This shows that growth is speedy, growth is fast. Number 3, here are the types of houses that, do you understand? Those kind of content. So you see that you've gone away from just talking about, features. Oh, it has a perimeter fence, as if they're not seeing. It has a gatehouse, or this is what every other person does. But you now, include education. I call it edu promo content. All right. So step number 5 is what? Build demand before you sell. All right. Now, let me tell you, see what attraction really looks like as we wrap up today. So attraction, are we following? I think at this point, I'll just take your questions. We'll just continue tomorrow. This is already 9:20. If that's okay, I can just take your questions at this point, and then we can just continue tomorrow. But I'm going to wrap up with this, right? So you must pay attention to these things I'm teaching you today, especially if you're interested in which I mean, the goal of this class is to move you from chasing clients up and down to beginning to attract them, right? And I've just given you 5 steps that you can take in order to start attracting clients, right? Now, almost every serious buyer now in 2026, right, they search before they start speaking to a realtor. This is very important. So even the ones you meet offline, like in a mall or on the roads, right? Many of them, sometimes they ask you for your number or your name or for a card or for your company name. What do? They go to search. All right. Everybody now has a smartphone. Everybody now uses a chat tool. All right. So they will go and search. Right. What are they searching for? They are searching for answers. They are searching for locations. They are searching for investment information. And the real question is, when these buyers search, will they find you? And even if they find you, what would they find you doing? Are you actually visible in the sense of being useful to their needs? Or are you actually just there with numbers and with, hello, smart investors, look at the land, I like it, right? What exactly will you be doing when they find you? All right. So that's basically it for today. I'll wrap up with this last part. There are 3 types of visibility content, and by the way, all these things are in my book. Like I said, in the book, You're Easy to Ignore. How realtors win sales by standing out and not by shouting. And if you go to www.jeffanoze.com/offer, you can lock in your own copy there, right? Now, here are 3 types of visibility content as a wrap up, and this is a piece for you to go and implement this weekend. The first is educational content. This type of content, you teach buyers something useful. All right. So, example, you teach them about a location, right? You teach them about investment ideas. All right. You teach them about mistakes, buying mistakes. Here are 3 buying mistakes buyers make in Abuja, something like that. So the first one is what? Educational content. So I'm talking about 3 types of visibility content that can help you become visible. The second is search content, right? These are content that answer questions buyers are searching for. All right. Answering questions buyers are searching for. One of my best favorite search content is 3 places or 5 places to buy real estate under 50 million in Abuja, something like that. Right. So I talk about 5 locations because I know that many buyers, especially my target market, they don't understand the market here. They don't understand the area yet. Right. But they're interested in buying here. So what they do is they go and search, where can I buy a 50 million naira land within Abuja town? And guess who has made a video to answer that? Me. You see, so search content, right? So use clear topics buyers are interested in. And one of the ways you can get this kind of topics is through FAQs. So what questions have buyers been asking, right? What questions have buyers been asking? If you check on Google, when you search on Google, you can also see search results that buyers have been asking for, right? Number three type of content is authority content. Here you share insights, you share, facts and, figures. For instance, recently the minister demolished or ordered some demolitions in Guzape because the people built on a green area. And as soon as I saw the news, I went to make a video about it. The goal of the video was to just share insights, draw lessons from the news, okay, as an expert or as an authority or as somebody that understands the market to a large extent. So I needed to just share, insights. Why did this happen and how can you avoid it? I did not sell anything in the video, but the goal was what? Authority content, all right? And so today, I want you to go and implement a few of these things tonight, this weekend. Don't wait till next week. If you wait till next week, there's a chance you're going to forget a few of the things you just learned. All right. For those that want more information around this, just simply, I've written all of that in my book. You Are Easy to Ignore. And I've talked about this a couple of times. So at this point, right about now, we'll call it the end of today. This is day 2 of our Realtors Visibility Bootcamp. Are you enjoying it so far? I'll take your questions now. You can just leave your questions in the comment section. I'll go through them right now and answer all of them. But are you enjoying this so far? If you're enjoying this, put the flex emoji in the comment section or type I am enjoying it in the comment section as I take your questions. Tomorrow we'll continue. By tomorrow, we're going to learn how to turn visibility into sales. Now that you are visible, buyers start reaching out to you. What then do you do? How do you make sales out of it? So you don't want to miss tomorrow's class for any reason. All right. So I'm just going to go through the comment section right now and take your questions. Please, if you dropped your question before, please help me and drop it again. I'm seeing one question, Mr. Goswill. Mr. Goswill said, my question is, I wanted to run ads, but it seemed like getting this book would be better because I don't have much videos on my page yet. Good. I like this observation you just made. One of the, I think is a mistake that many realtors make. It's not really a mistake, but I feel like when I see it, I feel you don't have a strategy. Is that they create a page today. You just created a page today. By tomorrow, you're already running ads. Now, is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. However, you're running adverts to clients that barely know you. Okay. If you're running visibility adverts, what that means is that you're just running adverts for visibility to attract people, let them just know that you exist. You're not yet running adverts to sell. It will be a different case. But I see a lot of them running adverts to sell immediately. So when you that is running the ads, let me ask you a question. You see that type of ads, will you say, oh, this is beautiful? You click on it and buy immediately. Is that what you do? What do you do instead? Don't you click on the profile? When you see ads like that, what do? You click on the profile, right? When you click on the profile, you then go to the person's page and then see if you can see more content. You want to know more about the person. So low key in your head, you think you're doing it to see more content, but what you're actually doing is you want to size the person. Okay, you want to go through and see other content that the person is doing. Oh, I like this one. Let me see more. Something like that. Is that not what you do? So lots of people, ads in itself, again, like I say, is not wrong. But I just feel like many people don't have a strategy behind the ad. The ad is not the adverts, the ads, running paid advertising in itself is not the strategy. There's the strategy. The ads just amplifies the strategy. All right. So yes, you need to, maybe I'll find time after the bootcamp and talk about advertising, how realtors can do paid advertising properly. Okay. Thank you, boss. Mr. Erasmus says thank you. Um, Illumina says thank you so much. I appreciate you. Inkem does the fire emoji, the flex emoji. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I guess I have explained a lot because I can barely see questions. Okay, Okonkwo Chidima is asking. She says, "My question: when posting on YouTube, do you advise scheduling posts or posting immediately? Because I noticed that after scheduling posts, my visibility goes to private by the time I post net content. No, I don't think you're doing it well. Personally, I schedule posts. In fact, I schedule for a week. I can schedule posts for 1 week, right? And at that point, it just goes out. That is one of the ways you can stay consistent. Is scheduling. It is from your setting. It's not usually from your scheduling. And I guess you're using a phone in scheduling. Usually people that use phone, they get this type of issues a lot. But what you do is when you upload the video and you're about to to schedule it, just ensure it's on public, it's not on private, it's not on unlisted, it's not on private, but it's on schedule. So when you put it on schedule, it goes out. When you put it on private, when the time reaches, it goes out and it's public. All right. What time do you advise to post on YouTube for better leverage? Sincerely, in my opinion, there's no specific time. Just choose a time and stay consistent with it. All right. For me, when I post for my clients, I post at 6:30 a.m. Right. So 6:30 a.m. Now, the reason I say that in my thinking, there's no specific time. It's because the guy in US, in Atlanta, right? His time is different from the guy in Japan. That one's time is different from the guy in Russia or in China. So whose time are you going to use now? Are you going to use the guy in Australia's time? Or do you want to use the guy in Nigeria's time? Like who exactly? Like now that you don't know who you're trying to attract, how do you now know the time? Recently somebody reached out to me from Poland. Poland. He's actually based in Hungary. He's based in Hungary, but he said he went for a program in Poland. What time is it in Poland or in Hungary? Like, how would I know? Do you get? So that's why for me, I feel like just choose a time and stick to it. That's my opinion. Or when you post for some time, let's say you've done like 20 posts or 50 posts, then you can go to your channel and check what time do people watch it more. Right? Then you now go and check the time that people watch. You can see it at the back end of your channel in your um insights, right? Go and check it, there you see. Then now choose a time there and stay there. All right. So that's my opinion about that timing thing. Mr. Gogosu said, my question is, I wanted to run ads. Okay, yes, I've seen your question already. All right, thank you so much, guys. I think I don't have more questions. I want to believe that you learned a lot. Let me know what stood out for you in the comment. Just type in one sentence what stood out for you in the content. I hope I was able to answer your question, Chidima. I hope I did answer your question. I tried to, anyways. If I didn't, let me know too. I would like to know what stood out for you in the comment section. And my charge for you today is um, don't be a random agent, right? Don't be a random real estate, you know, person. Decide to stand out and stop shouting online. When you do random things online without a strategy, you don't know if you're doing outbound marketing, you don't know if you're doing inbound marketing, you're just creating content anywhere belle face, then you're just being random. And so when you're random, sincerely, you get random results. You're not going to get consistent sales and consistent, inflow of very serious clients that are reaching out to you. All you just be doing is random content. All right. So with this, we've come to the end of today. Thank you so much for sticking to this point. I hope I earned the value of your time. Type value in the comment section if I earned the value of your time. Again, if you're watching the replay, please just type hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know you have watched it. And I'll see you tomorrow, same venue, same time. So 8 p.m. tomorrow, we'll dive into the part 3 of the Realtors Visibility Bootcamp. And we're going to be talking about how to convert visibility into sales. All right. That is basically what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. All right. So thank you so much and enjoy a beautiful, beautiful night rest. Bye for now.